Adobe Bridge has long had the ability to build web photo galleries. Let's take a look. Under the Window menu and Workspace, I can choose Output. And in the Output workspace, there are two options, a PDF contact sheet or a web gallery. I'm going to do a Select All, Edit Select All, and you'll see I have 16 items selected. I'll leave it on the standard template, but once we do the first one, we could experiment with some of these very fun alternate templates. You could change the style. It even allows transitions in some of these. And I'm going to name this gallery California. I'll hit Browse to select a location, and on my desktop, I'll hit Command D to go to my desktop, and I've made a California gallery folder. I'll double-click to get inside and hit Open. It even allows you to directly upload these images. It's a great way to get comps to a client. In fact, sometimes I even grab the thumbnails from the web gallery and use them as thumbnails in Dreamweaver when I'm building websites. If I scroll up a bit, you could choose whether or not you show the file names, in case you're using this as a method to soft-proof or letting your client pick their favorite. They can just read to you or email you their favorite file names. You could customize the size and the images and the quality, and for slideshows that have transitions or web galleries that have transitions, you could set the duration for each transition. I'll scroll up further and I can adjust the color palette, the background color, the hover color, and so on. But here I'll give it the gallery title of California again. And the caption will be Kelly's Shots from California. And maybe this is going to a client, and I'll say, please pick 3 to use for the project. I'll put in my contact name, and all of this is written into the HTML. As I scroll down, I could put whether the images are copyrighted. Let's copyright these 2012. That way nobody tries to rip them off. And I'm not going to directly upload these anywhere because I want to take a look at the gallery first, so I'll click Save. It takes each one of these, regardless of their resolution, and puts them into the ideal web format, typically JPEG for photos. The gallery is done, so I'll click OK, and I'll minimize Bridge and minimize Photoshop, and there on my desktop is the California Gallery folder. If I open the California folder inside, it's created an index.html, which will open in your default web browser. And in the Resources folder, there's an Images folder, and there's the Thumbnails folder I was referring to. So you have different preview sizes. Let's take a look. I'll double-click on Index to open it in my default web browser. And here is the title. Here is my name, and actually this is a clickable link. You can see as I mouse over it, it becomes underlined and changes to the pointing hand. That means it will launch your default email program, and they can contact me if they have questions. Down at the bottom middle, I can hit the play button. And there's my slideshow. And this is the 5-second transition. If I want to go faster, I could just click to advance to each slide. And this is the preview size that you set up. Now, most websites are designed somewhere between 760 and 960 pixels wide, depending on your intended audience, the person who might be looking at it. And one fun little trick here, did you notice the removal of these 2 items? I actually left that in just to show a little correction work. All right, so that's the first web photo gallery. I'll close it up and I'll try one of the alternate styles. I'll go back to Bridge, and my images are still selected. In fact, I can choose whether I preview these in the browser before I build it, or I can go and generate a different layout. So let's try the Airtight Postcard Viewer. And I'll scroll down a little bit. And there, for the output settings for size, maybe I want it to take up more of the default web size, so I'll go somewhere around 760. You could even type in an exact value. If you know what you want, you could set your quality. The Lightroom was the default, but it says custom now because I've typed in 760. In fact, if that's a common size that I like to use for my clients, I can actually save this style for the Airtight Postcard Viewer, so next time I come to this, it'll already have my preferred size. We'll name this California 02, and I'll scroll up a bit, and I'll give the title California 02. And you'll see there's a slightly different color palette for this one, and it has columns, borders, padding. So for each template that you choose, you'll scroll down and peruse the options. In fact, you could turn on an image caption for custom text, or if a client is picking from these group of images, it helps to have the file name on there. But you can grab other metadata, like the date that it was created, the title, a sequence number, all kinds of information. It's common, though, that file name is chosen. That way, the customer can tell you exactly which image they'd like to use. And my location is the same, so I'll hit Save again. When it's finished, I'll minimize Bridge. I'll open up that California Gallery folder, and it may need to refresh. There we go. There's the California 2. There's the index, and it's got a different collection of items here, just a large thumbnail. That's because the layout is different. But without running a line of code, Photoshop has generated all this HTML for you, even some JavaScript, some Flash, and some XML. This is a very fun one. So with the postcard viewer, maybe I want to see this shot closer. I click once. It's got trolley, which is the name of the image. I click again, it collapses. I click this image, it's titled San Francisco 11. It's not showing the extension, but all of these become JPEGs anyway, so we really don't need the extension in this case. You would know as the creator which images it's originating from. And that is just one of the fun new web photo gallery layouts that you could choose from. So grab a folder of your own images and give this a shot.